Hi, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm so excited to read with you. Today we're going to read Goodnight Moon. Let's see what's inside. Goodnight Moon. Goodnight Moon. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of the cow jumping over the moon. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs. And 2 little kittens and a pair of mittens. And a little toy house and a young mouse. And a comb and a brush and a bowl full of mush. And a quiet old lady who was whispering, "Hush." Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. Good night, light and the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Good night, kittens. And good night, mittens. Good night, clocks. And good night, socks. Good night, little house. And good night, mouse. Good night, comb. And good night, brush. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady whispering, "Hush." Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. The end. Should we read it again? Let's read it again. Good night, moon. Do you see the moon? There's the moon in the window. Good night, moon. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon. Do you see those? I see. There's a telephone, an old-style telephone, and a red balloon. Do you have a balloon? Have you ever had a balloon? Very cool. And a picture of, I see 2 pictures. You see them on the walls? 2 pictures on the walls of this room. The cow jumping over the moon. Look at that. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs. Do you want to count them with me? So it's 1, 2, 3 little bears sitting on chairs. And if you look, the 3 bears have a picture in their picture. Is that the cow jumping over the moon in their picture? He gets around. And 2 little kittens and a pair of mittens. And a little toy house and a young mouse. And a comb and a brush, and a bowl full of mush. What do you think a bowl full of mush is? I think it's like porridge, oatmeal, something like that. Does that sound appealing to you? Maybe like a bowl of mashed potatoes could be quite nice. And a quiet old lady who was whispering, "Hush, shh." Can you say hush? Good night, room. Look at how big this room is. Big room to say good night to. Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. Good night, light and the red balloon. There's the light, the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Good night, kittens. 2 kittens. Hi, 1 and 2. 2 kittens. And good night, mittens. There's also 2 mittens. Good night, clocks. And good night, socks. Do you see clocks in this picture? I see 2 clocks. Do you want to count them with me? There's this clock over here on the table next to the bed, and this clock over here over the fireplace. And good night, socks. There are the socks hanging on the drying rack. Good night, little house. And good night, mouse. So little. Good night, comb, and good night, brush. Comb and brush. I think that's actually a really big comb. Did you notice that? The comb is like that big. And look at how big it is in comparison to the bunny. Like, that's a really big comb, or a really little bunny. Good night, nobody. Nobody's there, but we're still saying good night. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady whispering hush. Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. The end. Thank you so much for joining me again. It was so fun reading with you. Please, if you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, a like in the YouTube app, or also if you're seeing this anywhere else, just give this a big like, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe so that you can see more videos of me reading really, really fun kids books with you, because this is a lot of fun to read with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. High five.